The Ministry of Agriculture, Food, and Rural Affairs has reissued a manual for businesses in the livestock industry outlining the appropriate ratio of fat to flesh in slices of samgyeopsal or pork belly offered to consumers.
농림축산식품부가 시중에 판매되는 삼겹살 속 지방과 살코기의 적정 비율을 제시한 삼겹살 품질관리 매뉴얼을 축산업 관계자들에게 재차 공지했습니다. Okay, so this is not the first time, it's the second time that this has been issued. Tell us more.
Yeah, so this comes after there was some samgyeopsal that was handed out as a donation in the Incheon area, and the recipients showed the pictures of what they ended up receiving, and it was basically a lot of fat and not really much flesh. And I think, the post went viral. People were looking at that going, oh my goodness, like, what are you supposed to eat there?
It's just really, all fat.
It's just lard, especially. So, we have a saying, trimming the fat when it comes to certain things. And I guess
to trim.
Yeah, the butcher in this case certainly did not trim the fat.
Exactly. Well, let's have a look at the first verb to focus on, which is to reissue something.
Yeah, when you reissue, you're issuing again, because means to do again, and issue is the main verb here. So when you issue something, you hand something out, or you're making some sort of an order, and they're doing that again because they already issued this out, but they're doing it one more time, saying, look, this is what we want you to do. They're saying that a piece of samgyeopsal should have less than 1 centimeter of fat, and for ogyeopsal, it should be less than 1.5 centimeters in terms of the amount of fat on the white section of that.
네, 삼겹살 품질 관리 때문에 지금 사실 좀 논란이 된 게 좀 저렴하게 삼겹살을 샀더니 거의 다 비계인 거예요. 고기는 거의 없고. 그래서 이 기준을 좀 다시 세워야 되겠다. 민심이 이렇게 들끓자 정말 다시 이런 가이드라인스가 나왔다라는 건데요. reissue라는 게 이렇게 재배포하다, 재공지하다라는 뜻이 되겠죠.
Yeah, and I think nowadays, because people are ordering things online and stuff, because if you go to a supermarket yourself and no one's gonna pick, I want that samgyeopsal with all the white, I don't need that much red flesh. Like, no one's gonna pick that.
Right.
So like, can you imagine the shock on the consumer's face when they receive this? You're gonna,
What?
What? Come on.
Yeah, so new guidelines are out. They've been reissued. And it's all about the appropriate ratio between fat and flesh.
Yeah, when you have a ratio of something, it's a comparison of A and B in terms of the amount. So in this case, we're talking about the ratio of meat to fat. Now, it doesn't say like, it should be 1-to-1 or 2-to-1, but that's usually the type of measurement that you're talking about when you're going with ratios. And when they say an appropriate ratio, something appropriate is something that, this is what should be considered acceptable or considered right, the normal. So, you don't want to have a 10-to-1 ratio of fat to meat. Or even 4-to-1 seems a little bit extreme. I think, 1-to-1 sounds nice, but at the same time, the world's not perfect, certainly. But if you saw the pictures of this one, it certainly was pretty bad.
It was indeed. So for samgyeopsal, the new guideline says the fat should be less than 1 centimeter. And then ogyeopsal, which is usually more fat to begin with, in that case, we're looking at less than 1.5 centimeters of fat. The red part you can call either flesh or meat, right?
Yeah, meat, flesh.
Meat,
sure.
flesh. 네. 그 살코기 부분은 meat 아니면 flesh라고 부르면 되고요. 그 지방, 그 비계, 그 부분은 이제 fat라고 하면은 됩니다. 그래서 적정한 비율, the appropriate ratio가 이렇게 발표가 됐습니다. Here's the headline again. The Ministry of Agriculture, Food and Rural Affairs has reissued a manual for businesses in the livestock industry outlining the appropriate ratio of fat to flesh in slices of samgyeopsal or pork belly offered to consumers. All right, well, moving on from pork to temperatures, let's have a look at our second headline.